So what you're looking at right now is a 1928A silver certificate. These used to be backed by silver. In fact, it even says at the bottom, $1 silver payable to the bearer on demand. But that's not what we're talking about today. In today's video, I want to show you how I accidentally sold one of these that was worth at least $1,000 for around 35 bucks. And I'm going to show you why this will be a very good lesson and why you should always check everything that you have, especially before you let it go to somebody else. So let's get into it, but really quick, if you're new here, don't forget to go down below and make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate it and it greatly helps me out. All right, let's take a look. So just to be clear, this note that's in my hand is not the one that we were talking about specifically, but it is a lot like it. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a 1928 silver certificate. Now these are actually also known as funnybacks, and the reason is if you look at the back, it has the big word one with $1 across the center. And it's known as a funnyback because the back of it is so much different than your modern dollars. And we don't even have to be modern. For example, if you look at this 1957 silver certificate, if you flip it over to the reverse, that's much more like what you're used to seeing on the reverse of a $1 bill, as opposed to this big word one with $1 in the center. But that's actually not why it's worth what it's worth. This note specifically right here, being in AU condition, is worth around $70. And the one that I sold to Silver Jackal off of my website was worth even a little bit less because it wasn't quite as nice as this one. It was still a nice note, but it was a little less nice than this one. I want to show you, however, why the one that I sent Silver Jackal is worth so much, and it's going to start with the conversation that I had with Silver Jackal, so let me pull it up on the screen. Okay, so I stretched the conversation out a little bit, so you could see it better on the screen, but as you can see at the beginning of this conversation, Silver Anubis sends me a message saying that he got the notes today, and he has a question on his funnyback. He says his Google Foo isn't working, but he watched a couple of vids on the 28 funnyback, and everyone flips it over from left to right, like our normal bills are, but this one flips from top to bottom. And so I think maybe, he didn't say it here, but maybe he thought it was a fake one. And I said, huh, so I'll get back to you, I'll check. He said, yeah, all the pics I'm finding flip left to right like all the other bills, and this one flips top to bottom. I said, right, that's odd for sure. And then the next message I sent was about 20 to 30 minutes later. I sent him a message and said, I called a coin dealer friend of mine. He said there were 28s that were misprints that can be worth 50 to 100 bucks or more. And he meant on top of what the note's already worth. So if it's worth 50, now it's worth 100. If it's worth 100, now it's worth 200, depending on what it is. But anyway, he says, wow, okay, I can't find anything on Google about them. I said, yeah, I was stumped also there. I didn't know. I literally did not know about this error. So it just goes to show you, I'm still learning stuff every single day in this, in this industry. Silver Anubis says, yeah, I was looking at them when I was putting them in my book, and I was like, wait a minute. So anyway, that was basically the end of the conversation until about 3 weeks later, I got this message from Silver Anubis. And he asked me to give him a call. We called via Discord and we talked for a few minutes. The first call was kind of a mistake because we couldn't hear each other. Second call actually worked. But in the call, he actually told me that he had sent this note off to be certified by PMG. And sure enough, it came back just like this. Take a look. PMG certified, inverted back error, choice find 35, 1928B. Really, really cool. And if you take a look at the obverse, you can see the note on the obverse as well. This was just certified. His dealer had just gotten it back. So I looked at PMG's turnaround times, and they have turnaround times as low as 5 to 10 days. So timing makes sense. I was like, man, how'd you get it back so quick? Because coin grading takes like 200 gazillion years. But sure enough, the PMG notes have pretty good turnaround times, except for the very, very lowest end tier. So anyway, this is what he has. He actually got it back as inverted back error, choice 35. And if you look at our note, when we flip it left to right, it's fine, but when we flip it up to down, it is normal. So this one is actually normal. And all of our notes, by the way, do that same thing. In fact, I have this really old $5 horse blanket, and as you can see, it flips left to right. If you flip it top to bottom, one side is always upside down. So that is really, really cool. And so I'm thinking, wow, that's awesome. Congrats. It's worth 50 to 100 bucks more. But I immediately got back on the phone and I called Mike from Mid-America Coins about the note and told him what had happened. And he goes, let Silver Jackal know that I will offer him $1,000 for it right now. I said, yeah, I laughed because I thought he was joking. He said, I'm serious, LOL. So that is the fact, is that this note right here, you guys definitely need to take a look. The whole point of this video, outside of just sharing the story, is to tell you to always pay attention to what you have in your collection. Check it for any errors, any misprints, things like that. I mean, that note was in my collection for a very long time, and I had no idea the whole time. And now it's Silver Jackal's, and he got it for just 35 bucks. So that will be a massive profit for Silver Jackal if he decides to take my cup on it. I don't know if he actually will, but I think that's pretty cool. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for such a short video, but I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.